Welcome to Great Talking Entertainment. I'm your host, KJ, and this is the YouTube channel where I review movies and TV shows from all your favorite superheroes, including Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and much more. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Now let's go, baby! Welcome back to the YouTube channel, everyone. My name is KJ, and today is my spoiler review for the new show on Hulu/Disney Plus. I'm watching You, Episode 1 spoiler review. If you have not seen this show, please pause this. But before you go, hit the thumbs up button, aka the like button. Come back and let me know what you think about this show in the comments below. So again, this is a spoiler review. Y'all been warned. Now, let's get into it. This show starts off with Lena is at the club/bar who meets a guy named Kane, and, they're flirting, they're hitting on each other, and they're saying little cute things to each other, and then we find out they're actually just a couple who likes to role play to spice things off a few times in their lives. And in that time when they're getting ready to do the boom boom, he said, "I love you," and she said, "Hey, I love you too." And this is where the episode begins. As we see, there is a hidden camera as it's spying on the two doing it. And before they reveal the main plot of this is Lena is a paramedic woman in Australia, and Kane is somebody who's injured at the moment and kind of out of a job in a sense, but he kind of works for a company called Forge Fit. And so their life is pretty normal, and they're planning a wedding. And everything seems pretty normal of the two, even though we know there was a camera that was spying on them. But who put the camera there is the question. But before we get to that reveal, in this episode, the two are having a little bit of financial troubles, like I said. While Kane is just in trouble, they go to this party where we meet Alex and Carol, who kind of run this company called Forge Fit, and they're just talking and they're hanging out at this big party at their house, and Alex asks Kane to join them, and they're just talking and they're seeing this work, and Alex or Axel is trying to have Kane join this business ideal that he has. That's kind of go against the company in a sense, but he's driven to do it. And we find out that Kane shouldn't be drinking, but he does have a drinking problem in a sense of it. But I don't think it's bad. But what they did in this scene was. But then we saw Lena end up chatting with a guy named Dan, and they kind of have some things in common, and they have fun, but things seem all like lovey-dovey until reality hits, as Kane is getting ready to fight because he's drunk, but he's so drunk that he has to get back home. But Dan was kind enough to give her and Kane a ride home, and that's where the spark started showing up as she starts, feeling kind of frisky. She kind of, puts her hands on certain parts of her body. Dan kind of likes it, and he's driving. And they finally drops him off. And then later, Lena ends up at Dan's place, and they start doing the nasty. And this is where she starts feeling guilty. And she left her wedding ring. She has to run back and make up a fake story to get their wedding ring back at Dan's place. And this is where she finds a camera that is hidden in a lamp after she accidentally knocked it down, and she did not find that wedding ring yet. And we find out Dan had no idea, but this is a place that Dan's staying at, and this is a place owned by Axel and Claire, who own the company Forge Fit, or at least run it. But they don't understand why they have it, because they found more than one camera. They found one in the smoke detector. They find one in the vent. Like, they're finding different ones. But they're trying to keep it secret because obviously Leanna doesn't want, Kane to find out that she cheated on him, because they were kind of having relationship problems and stuff. So things are going to start getting a little bit messy. And now this is a thriller series. And so already, Dan, Axel, and Claire are suspicious of like putting cameras in there. I would also add Kane in it as well. But it's about who are the ones who put that in there and why are they attacking her particularly. Is they do it for Kane? Is this Kane's like relative? Maybe the relative never trust her? Or maybe Axel is jealous of Kane or jealous of Leanne. Or who somebody's jealous. This is all we know so far. But she's panicking. And things got a lot more interesting too as Leanna and her fiance Kane, Alex, and Claire are at like a spot where her Leanna's mom used to like live at or owned. And they're kind of discussing maybe having the wedding here because it's a nice place and maybe turn into an Airbnb. But Kane and Leanna don't really have the finance to do that. But Axel and Claire are like, we'll help you out. You just call our boy Dan. He'll do it for a reasonable price. And then he ends up showing up and she thinks this is nuts. But he does return the wedding ring and she feels much relieved. And, of course, there is some truth that house, a house, I would say, does need some work. And he's willing to do this just so they could find it. Now, here's the interesting thing. Claire's phone, as Leanna went and got the passport to pretend he got Dan's number, which she already had Dan's number, Leanna found video of Claire and Axel doing the nasty, and she knew the camera was there. She was looking at it. So it's kind of implying that Claire has a kinky side of videotaping, which that's kind of normal. But at the end of this episode, an unknown number texts Leanna and is blackmailing her. Even said, we got the video, so somebody has the video. So who is it? And that's how this episode ends. So let's just talk about the first topic. Who is this mystery person? I think it's either Axel, Claire, Kane, or Tess, the best friend, who is Leanna's best friend. Or it could be Dan as well. Now, the reason it could be any of those. If it's Axel and Claire, then I think they want to buy the property value of, because they mentioned either Leanne's mother or grandmother is property that they're at, which has a really good high value in sales, and they want to sell it or buy it or whatever, or make money off of it. Like, that's why they mentioned like maybe turn into some type of Airbnb. And then there's Kane, who could just be a jealous stalker, psychopath fiance that maybe she never realized, and he knows, and he's just planning and to get revenge on her probably to death, pretty much. And then there's Dan, who could be a psychopath too, like Dexter, or a character like a Dexter or something like that, just a psycho killer. And then there's Tessa, who can be the jealous best friend, and maybe she wanted Kane, or maybe she wanted her, Leanne. Nah, like, you never know. And so there's really not much. There's a lot of clues you could see. But if I had to go with it, I think it's Claire is the main one. I'm gonna go with Claire, just Claire. That she has an evil plan and she's gonna blackmail to get what she wants, and I think it's that property that they're on, that they're all at this moment. That's where I'm thinking. But what I think about this episode, as far as the show, it's a slow pace, but again, this is a thriller. They're building it up because it's going to be a lot of twists and turns, and you can't really trust everybody's narrative, even the main character. And the idea that she got herself into this mess is just crazy. It's just she's trying to keep this a secret to like she's gonna bury this in her grave. That's what she's willing to do, and she's trying to keep that a secret. But I don't think it. Well, I think eventually it will come out at some point. But I also see her, Leanna and Dan, its relationship to start. I think they're gonna have. I think they are gonna have more things in common that's going to make them more attracted to each other. I don't think she wants to stop sleeping with him, and I don't think he wants to stop sleeping with her. And I do think they're probably going to fall in love with each other or tease the idea of it. But somebody wants something out of it, and Liana has something. It's either that property or Kane, whatever it is. So who's going to destroy who? But that's where I see that. So it's a slow pace, but they're trying to lay out everything to kind of get you guessing and setting up the tone of where this is going. But basically, you were going to see somebody trying to keep this lie, keep a secret, and hide something from their partner. But also, we're going to get in a deep, deep, deep secret, twisted plan of getting something or gaining something out of it. So I did like the beginning of it. I did like how it feels like a soap opera. I like that it's in Australia. That's really cool. So it had whatever it is, it's like the Australia country culture, the vibe of it. And obviously, you can't trust nobody. You can't trust the characters. You can't trust the narrators. I do like that. The only thing I can nitpick about it at this point is I think that I can tell because I knew it was going to be obvious that, she was eventually going to get an unknown text. And I'm pretty sure that unknown number is going to call her again and she's going to answer, and the voice is going to be like a voice changer type thing where you don't know who it is. You don't know if it's male or female. And we're going to get a lot of flashbacks. Everybody has a past, and it's going to reveal like, oh, but when they were this age, or 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 2 years ago, 6 months earlier, whatever, they were doing this and that. They were acting like this. Or, I'm sure we're going to know more about her mom, Leanna's mom. And we're going to know more about Kane, too, pretty sure. And Dan. Like, Dan probably has a past. A real huge past. So I think that, so it's kind of too obvious that we're going to get that. And it's going to be kind of easy to kind of figure out who's doing what and who to like, who not to like too. So I think it's not going to be it's not going to be a challenging thriller series to me, but I could be wrong. But when I review episode 2, then we'll see the tone, how I feel about that. But as of right now, this episode, it was just kind of easy, and it was really not that hard to put everything together. And you just kind of knew this was going to happen at some point. So, everybody's seductive to each other. Everybody's dropping riddles to each other in the dialogue. And it's just kind of obvious, and they're foreshadowing some stuff that's pretty easy to kind of see if you really pay attention to it. But it's not like that's not a bad thing that it's kind of easy. Sometimes an easy thriller show is just really good, really entertaining. But if you're just up for a challenge, I wouldn't hold your breath for it. But other than that, 1 out of 10, I'm going to have to give this one a 5. It was an okay thing. I do like it. It does have a lot of potential so far, but it was a slow, steady pace type show. But I'm confident episode 2 is gonna really crank up the speed, the intense, the drama, the oohs and ahs, and there's gonna be a huge plot twist and shocking moments and revealing in episode 2. But I would say it's a good start, a little rough, a little bumpy story wise, but I'm gonna keep watching this, and I really like this no matter what. So that is my spoiler review. Thank you guys so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment Official channel. Subscribe, hit that notification button so you can always update with all my latest content. Thank you guys, and peace out.